ring light is very bright. There we go. Almost like mood lighting, even though it is extraordinarily bright and I won't be able to see anything other than circles for days. First things first, coffee. Okay, so this is my first video of New Year, and the reason why I'm making it is quite long and complicated. I'm really hoping that you can hear something other than just cars passing by, because that's the majority of what I can hear always, but we'll see how this goes. So really I wanted to make a video about pride and about not forgetting to have pride, not forgetting to take pride in yourself. So I don't know about other people, but something that I know I have is something whereby I always seem to forget to take pride in myself, which sounds a little bit strange, but what I mean by that is I am very forgetful in general life, but I'm very forgetful about things that I have done and things that I have achieved. Now, if I don't write something down, if I don't take a photograph of it, if I don't record it in any way, what I tend to do is entirely forget that that thing happened. So that trip that I went on, that visit to a friend, that thing that I achieved just goes out the window, and I entirely forget those things. And I think, oh, I haven't done anything in ages, like, I'm just wasting my life away. And I get into a little bit of a spiral of that, and then it's not very fun for a while. I do definitely forget many things that I've achieved, and it is a struggle to actually put value in those things then, because I don't remember that I've done them. Now, I don't believe I have a memory problem, as in maybe like a sort of particularly medical thing. I just think I have just a bit of a terrible memory, but it does pose problems for me in relation to things in my life. Definitely including things like summing up my year, as people do at the end of the year, and going, wasn't this a brilliant year, or was this a rubbish year, and then what can I do differently, hence why I'm making this video now. So a lot of people on, say, Instagram or Facebook or what have you do your summing up of the year, and that's something that I did as well. I searched through my Google Photos, as everybody does, and put some together, and I managed to look at them then and go, actually, this has been a really good year. So I put a little spiel out about how it was a really good year. For instance, with myself, I saw a picture of me holding up my certificate of passing my driving test. And then I was doing a photo shoot for something, and I was doing a variety of things, going different places, and I was like, actually, you know, that's a great year. But could I remember instantly one of those things if someone were to say, what are you proud of yourself right now? It's like blank space. So how do I combat this? One of the things that I tend to do is take a hell of a lot of photos, which I do in general life, but does that help me when it's sat on a hard drive somewhere, when it's in the cloud, as it were? Not really. So what I do want to do this year, as part of a New Year's thing, is to continuously get photos printed. So what I tend to do is head onto a variety of websites that you can go onto, but I tend to use a company called Snapfish, and you send across your photographs and they get them printed for you for relatively cheaply, and it means that I can get a big load of photographs printed all in one go, and it barely costs you anything. It's very, very good, especially if you get the app. It seems a very obvious thing, but genuinely when something is sat on a hard drive, and when something is sat in the arse end of the ether on the internet, then I don't find that I can relate to it as much, because, you know, it's sat on your timeline, say, in the world of social media. It's sat on your timeline, and then you just, you're like, oh, it's there if I look for it, and blah blah. What I love to do is put this into an actual photo album. So by putting it into a photo album, I actually go through everything, and having that physical, visual moment captured physically in my house, where I can show somebody, or just go through when I have a cup of tea in my hand and just like go through and just review some times that I've had, places that I've been, friends that I've been with, stuff that I've done, things that I've achieved, anything that has been such a big enough moment in my life to capture on camera. That means that I can really take pride in it. I can actually look at that and go, hell yeah, I went there. Like, I went to Scandinavia on my own, just me and my camera, and it was freezing cold because it was in November, I think. But that's awesome. Why don't I constantly just talk to everybody about that? But instead I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Now, granted, I do take pictures of sort of interesting architecture and random people on the street, and any kind of animals that pass by, anything like that, but anything that interests me, that in that moment, that says to me that I went there, I did that, I saw that thing, that was interesting to me, and I want to remember that. So much of this stuff I just don't remember in those times when I'm lying awake at night and I'm like, what is my life? What am I doing with my life? I'm a very big believer in trying to tackle mental health issues hugely, and this is genuinely something that does help me. It sounds a bit random, and in some cases is a bit obvious, but genuinely, when you are in that potentially dark place and you can't think of good things about yourself, then you have such an amount of stuff right in front of you, of all the things that you have done and all the things that you've achieved. So go for it. So what I will be doing over possibly the next few hours is putting all of those photographs into this album. So this is very battered, but it is my massive album slash scrapbook. I also dried some flowers in here, evidently. I feel like I put more. But in here I have correspondence with people. I have photographs of my life, I have photographs of university, I have old photographs, I have pages and pages of letters, of postcards from friends and family and whatnot. I have memories and memories and memories and memories of all this stuff. Oh wow, that's when I had that hair. That happened. So just photos of different times, and oh, it's just so good, it's so good. And I can't wait to sort of revisit this, because I haven't actually revisited it in so long. This was when I went to Disney World, when I saw loads of different animals and stuff like that. I mean, there's all sorts in here. There's weddings, there is sort of street photography. This is when I went around Nottingham and everything like that. Just, it can be as little as just things that you see day to day, but it's those moments that are captured which are so often just, you know, put on social media, say, or even just stay on your phone or your camera, and you do nothing with them, whereas actually your life is amazing all the time, and you need to remember that. You need to remember that. So one thing I was very aware of is that it sounds a bit strange to make a video about feeling proud of yourself, because it's a little bit of a strange subject matter. but it is genuinely something that I have a bit of an issue with, and that I struggle with. And I really wanted to actually start making some videos, partially to actually record and document things that I do, in the same way that I take photographs. You can genuinely forget entire weeks, months, huge events that you may have done, and you just entirely forget them, or I do anyway, and I forget that I've done them. And therefore, when it comes to any kind of moments where you're querying your life choices, or any kind of path that you've taken, I find that it's really difficult to then go, you know, snap myself out of that and go, well, actually, I've done X, Y, and Z. Whereas the simple act of documenting things that I've done does genuinely help that. Does that mean I'm slightly insane? I don't know. I have rambled. I've rambled on. That is undeniable. And most of this will just have traffic in the background. But hopefully that made sense. Future Liz. Hopefully it made sense. If anyone feels like they are in a really dark place where they can't really remember anything that they have done that is good, or any kind of achievements in their life, I absolutely implore them, or you, whoever you are, probably future Liz, to just really do everything you can to try and make those memories stick in your mind, so that when you have those really low points, you can think, actually, do you know what? Today is terrible. I'm feeling terrible. Maybe this year is terrible. But hey, I went to that place that time and it was really cool. To anyone who is feeling like they don't have anything to remember their good times by, just record those good times. Record it. We live in an electronic world now. Record those things on your phone. Get it printed. Take little snippet videos of good things. Just record it so that you can review those times when you're feeling terrible. Please do it. Please do it. Because it really helps me, and I really hope it'll help other people as well. And that's a siren. Welcome to LN5.